Welcome to Female Voices, Life and Loss, a podcast dedicated to women from all walks of life. Whether you're navigating through loss, seeking growth, or simply looking for a place to feel understood, you've come to the right space. Each week, we provide compassionate guidance, share diverse stories, and offer practical advice to help you heal, grow, and thrive. No matter where you are on your journey, we're here to walk with you. Let's grow together.
Hey, we're back.
Hey, friends.
I'm excited to be back because I will be in my element this week. What I've been doing for over 4.5 years, me doing the interview. So if you didn't listen to the last episode, which hopefully these will come out in the right order.
Work in progress,
Wayna interviewed me, which I'm not used to that. So this is more my comfort, me interviewing you. So anything you want to share before we dive in? What's going on? Anything you want to share before we get started that having on your heart or making your heart light?
To have a friend to talk to about female stuff and life and loss, and just, it's fun. It's just fun to hang out,
This is fun. I'm super excited about getting the rebrand and us partnering and doing this together. I'm excited.
It's fun.
Even though we've not known each other very long,
we haven't.
We have fun together.
Right. It's my friend. I love her.
So today I'm going to interview Wayna so you can learn more about her and I can as well. So I'm excited about that. I went on your website. I kind of read some things and I'm like, gosh, I didn't know all this about you. So I want to make sure that the audience knows some of the back stuff with you.
I'm an open book.
Yeah. And so what it said on there, what I was impressed with, like all this education that you have. I'm like, holy cow. So tell me about that journey to get to where you're at now, because it did not start with what you're doing now.
No, it did not. Thankfully I had some people born into my life. I had my mom's ex-husband, Rick. He was my stepdad. The one that made us a military brat. So he's in the Air Force, so we got to travel a little bit. But he was the first person that I can remember asking me what I wanted to do with myself. What do you want to be when you grow up, kind of thing. And I was always a very, very serious child. I was a little woman at 4. Like, I just came out the womb ready, my poor mom, she had me, she was a senior in high school, and, she didn't know what she was getting her hands into. But but he said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, well, I guess, I'll work. And he said, work and do what? What do you like? I was like, I don't know. And he was like, well, who do you like? Somebody on TV.
Yeah.
And I said, I like Claire Huxtable, because she dresses really nice and she gets to go off on everybody, because she was a lawyer. He said, oh, you want to be a lawyer? I was like, because she dresses fancy and she cuts people off, and you need to, she's always super smart, So that was the goal originally when I went, when I enrolled in the university to get my bachelor's. And for anybody who's had that journey of bachelor's, it's hard. It's just hard for no reason, really.
Yeah.
So doing that, I was like, oh God, I can't go to law school. It's like, oh, this is going on too long. And I had a child. I had a small child. So I was like, I can't be doing this, forever. So I did graduate with 2 degrees, criminal justice and sociology.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why I love that. Because my daughter is a police officer and wanted to go for criminal justice because that's what she thought the degree she needed to go into police work, and the goal was to be an FBI agent, which she will not do that because she's aged out of that.
Me too,
You have to be to a certain age to get into that. But what she ended up getting, because she had gotten a soccer scholarship, they did not have that degree at the college that she went to. So guess what degree she got? Sociology.
It's all about people. It's the same classes, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then so I was married to my son's father at the time, and we were like separating around that time. So that led that pivot to be like, oh, I need more education. Well, let me back up. When me and my first husband were married, he's older than me, and I was like, hey, I'm getting done with my bachelor's, and you know, I'm not able to find any jobs. So I was like, I probably need to go to grad school.
Okay.
So, and he did not want me to do that. He said, you're taking more time away from the family. Yeah. And I was like, well, you know, he was a disabled vet, and I was like, well, you know, I don't know how long you're going to be able to work, you know, so I need to get as much as I can. But that's kind of, so that started the thought process of grad school. I wanted to be a counselor. And he said to me, you know, and this is why we need women's support, you know, because he said to me, well, how are you going to be a therapist and you can't even fix your own marriage, you know? And evidently those things are not, they don't have to happen at the same time. Okay. So that kind of deterred me a little bit, not a lot, just a smidge.
Okay.
But then I ended up going to grad school for HR management because it was the shortest path.
Okay.
So I tripled my classes and I got done in a year because I was like, I have a child to take care of, you know, so I have to get to making some more money.
You tripled your classes and got done in a year.
And I had foot surgery, so
holy cow!
I had on both feet. I think I had foot surgery on both feet that year too.
Wow.
Hey, look at God. Won't he do it?
Okay. Determination.
Yeah.
Focus. I could think of a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm a mama bear though, you know. I want to show my son.
Get her done.
Yeah. You know, it's the most important thing. I'm going to try to figure it out. I don't want you out here, you know, on your own or feeling alone or anything like that. Yeah. So that's kind of always been my mission, you know.
Okay, so did you work in HR after getting that master's, or how did you get? You said you always felt like you wanted to be a counselor. So how did that? Well, and you do counsel probably when you're in HR. Now that I'm saying this out loud, but tell me more about that.
Well, it took me a year to even find a job. So I ended up getting a job in workforce development.
Okay.
And I was still very, very excited about counseling. So I would always counsel people all the time.
Okay.
You know, I like the holistic approach of, you know, making sure all their needs are met on that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you know. So kind of use that as an approach. But I was always trying to get people to think about bettering their situation however they could, you know. So I didn't even stay out of school that long. I think I graduated 2009 with it, one master's, and then I went right back to school, maybe one semester off, and I went right back and started taking the counseling classes because I was really, really interested in that world, you know.
Wow. Why do you think you were interested in that? Was there something from your childhood, or where did that come from?
Like a lot of people, I've had a very trauma-filled childhood, so and bless my parents and bless my family. This is not a dig on them. It's just, it is what it is. You know, there was a lot of us living in one house. There wasn't enough resources. A lot of times we didn't have the utilities on, you know, there were a lot of house fires. So I basically wanted to be the person that I needed, you know, growing up. Because growing up, I always was like a fish out of water. You know, I was always like, well, I could try it. It can't hurt. All I can say is no.
Yeah.
With everything, I'll ask the question. I ask the hard questions. I, you know, do the uncomfortable work. But praise God, because he the one enabled me to, to do it because I was used to working so hard. The Lord just blessed me because I got that master's degree. I was doing a job where I was working like 7 in the morning to 7 at night with my son who was like 5. So he's at work with me, and praise God, because I was so tickled that he could go to work with me. But I go from doing a job of 4 people to the Lord just gave me rest. I didn't do anything for 3 years. He gave me a new job making $10,000 more, and I had absolutely nothing to do for 3 years. So I would walk around the building asking, do you need help? Do you need help? Do you need help? Do you need help? And during that time, I was able to listen to podcasts. So I would listen to Revive Our Hearts, and it's all about women and women topics. So I learned so much through that. I would listen to Chip Ingram because he was all about healthy relationships, healthy marriages. I would listen to Focus on the Family because it's all about healthy family, healthy marriages. And I would listen to Tony Evans because he's all about the kingdom family, the kingdom needs. So though the Lord had those podcasts working on me every day for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, because I didn't want to be married again. I was like, this is work. I don't want to be married,
That is work.
Yeah,
Marriage
but
is
he
work.
softened my heart,
Yeah.
and he made me so excited about the opportunity. I looked at marriage as an opportunity. I looked at being a mom again as an opportunity. So I was like, oh man, I could use my marriage and being a mom to serve the Lord, and that's kind of where I was at around that time.
Wow. Yeah. Girl, that's impressive. Whew. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now with all of that, I don't know how much you want to. I was going to say, how did you come to do what you're doing now?
Well, I can fast forward. The Lord, like I said, worked on my heart for those 3 years. So, and then my son added in his guilt trip of, Mom, when I'm gone my only 2 weekends a month, I'm worried about you here by yourself.
Oh.
I was living my best life by myself.
And your son was worried about you.
So I was like, dang it, now I got to take this dating seriously.
Oh.
So probably 6 months later I don't even know if it was 6 months later. That's when I was like, I guess I got to take it seriously. My son's watching me now. So then I meet my husband, because I'm on the online date.
I was going to say, was that at the church, at the bar, at the online?
I didn't go anywhere, so you would never see me outside. So
the online.
I did but I had done that for a long time. If anybody has ever done that, please inbox me. I can support you through that because it is rough. It is.
Thankfully, I've never experienced that, so don't inbox me. I have no idea, but I can connect you to Wayna, who's got experience.
I will support you through it.
Okay.
Stay focused. You have a goal. And my goal was...
So why do you say that specifically?
Oh, your goal or stay focused?
Stay focused, and the whole difficulty about doing that.
Well,
just share a little bit here for those so that they make sure they inbox you. Like what's difficult about it?
Well, one, they're really, really perverted,
Oh,
they just come with it, they might describe a full porno to you in
your
inbox.
Goodness.
Okay. Or can I see this or that, or pictures of this or that,
Oh.
They're not, a lot of times they're not asking about your personality or what your future goals are. It's mostly just gratification and being very, very lustful.
Oh my goodness. But okay, maybe I shouldn't have asked that question. Now I'm like, my goodness.
Yeah, it's rough. For you, we know who's been there. They know.
Okay.
But I have a strategy, so mine was, most of them did not want to deal with me because they said, she's high maintenance, She wants you to have all your stuff together and everything, Okay. So I usually didn't get those people because they would read my page and be like, And then they might send me some trash in my, inbox. But so I would get online and then I would get off. Like I would be on for a few months and I'd be like, ugh, and then I get off for a few months and then I do. So I would kind of do this dance.
But then your son guilted you and you needed to be serious about it.
Yeah, I had to be serious. And I'm like, dang it, now I gotta, think about values and the end game here. So I met my husband and he was a square peg, just like private protector, all of that. So ladies, I say that to say, long as the values are there, long as the heart is in the right place, you can work with the rest. I can redress you and cut your hair the way I want it to be cut and put some contacts on you and take the glasses off. Because he literally had glasses that were indestructible. And I was like, why?
Oh my goodness.
Why?
I just didn't know.
No, he said himself, I fly under the radar. Like he doesn't want to even come off that attractive because he don't want all the people in his face, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay.
So more of an introvert? Like just shy? Like, okay.
No, he's not shy.
Oh.
He just didn't want it. He was just like, I'm focused on my career.
Oh, okay.
Kids.
That makes sense.
Like,
that makes sense. Okay.
But yeah, so I met him and just very plain generic. Hey, I'm here just to meet people. Mm-hmm. Very generic. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, okay. He's not saying anything gross or lustful or, pervy. Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So met him. My husband's amazing. We've had our own battles. You'll hear about it later.
Yeah.
But originally out the gate, just like two good friends, had known each other for years.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. So he was really good. He was really good and got me excited about merging, blending our families and all those things. Okay. And that's when I went back to school to finish because I had ran out of money, so I wasn't able to finish my degree. Okay. And my husband, he does amazing at work. So he was just like, hey, if you want to finish, go ahead and finish. Nice. So he gave me this path to do the things I really want to do. He was like, you don't have to work at a job if you don't want to. You have time, you have the space to figure out what you want to kind of do. Nice. So yeah, that was great. It was really, really great.
I love that.
Very supportive in that way.
Yeah, and like we mentioned earlier where we met, so obviously there's been a loss today, and I don't want to get into that today because I want to get more into who you are, because we are people outside of our loss and our grief and all of those kind of things. So you mentioned more like a holistic counseling that you do. Tell me more about that.
So, when people,
because a lot of people I don't think would know really kind of what that means.
So holistic. For me, holistic, and you come to me for counseling, I'm going to ask about every area of your life.
Okay, perfect.
If you're, you're my age, you're in your 40s, and I'm like, okay, so I'm going to ask, how's the finances? How's your job going? Yeah. Are you happy and content in your job? I'm going to ask you about goals that you have for yourself. Like, what is the goals for, our time together? But most people, or like you said, they come to me ready to make a change. And that's the biggest piece. Are you ready to do the work that's going to change? Yeah. So I mostly work with adults. So I've had, women come to me. One woman was like, hey, I want to get a better job. So we talked about ways to skill up in that area. She said, I want to save some money because she wanted to buy a house. So we strategize on how we can save and what we can kind of take off of our budget list. And she wanted to get back out there and start dating.
You could definitely help her in that area.
Yeah. And she did phenomenal work, and it wasn't more than 3 to 6 months, and she was living her best life. She was out socializing, which is something she hadn't done before. She had got a better job. And then with the money, I think her and a relative lived together to split bills to save, so she was working on all of her things. So holistic, we want to make sure your relationship is very healthy, and
Yeah.
your marriage, is that healthy? Is your sex life healthy? Because nobody ever wants to talk about that. And that's the biggest thing there. You know, that or the
Yeah.
finances are
Yeah.
right, or you
Yeah. Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
communicating, which is probably the biggest thing. And I'm a daily person that has to work on her communication with her spouse, because men are where from where? They're
Oh,
from Mars and
goodness.
we're from Venus, and we are not speaking the same language all the time.
Yeah.
So a lot of work around communication, a lot of work around the negative thoughts that come in our mind, and
That's awesome.
replacing them with what's actually true in that moment. And what's true in that moment could be you're doing the best you can right now.
Yeah. I love that.
And giving ourselves some more grace, yeah. It's hard.
It is hard. It's interesting that you said that, because when I work with clients, one of the very first things that I have them do is what I call a grief wheel, or grief impact wheel. And it's how has grief impacted every area of your life?
Yeah.
Because it has affected finances, your relationships, all your spiritual, like all of those areas that you just talked about, grief affects that. So it's interesting that we both really touch on all areas to really what you're calling the holistic counseling, which I think is amazing, that we both kind of really want to help the person as a whole and not just one area, because when they come to you for one area,
you've got to look at the whole piece.
It's all a piece of it. So I love that.
One thing that I did in one of the grief programs that I was with, it was so cute. They did an ungrateful list and a grateful list about grief. And, nobody wants to talk about, the stuff that you are really ungrateful for.
Yeah. Because there are those things.
Yeah. So that was, I think, the most impactful thing when I went to a grief group, that I was like, yeah, thank you for, looking into that and taking time around how this grief has set me apart, whether it's financially, emotionally, family relations,
Yeah, it's all
plays
affected.
such a big part. Yeah.
Very much so. So, let's see, what else should we talk about? You, I believe on your website, you do a lot within the community, and I love that, because I am a person that it's all about giving back. Well, and what I do for my business is about giving back and supporting. But outside of, and you do the same with your business, but outside of that, on your website, it talks about like some nonprofits and some other community outreach kind of thing. Share with us. Where's that? Where's the passion there? Who do you support, and why do you support them?
Well, I love to get back, just because I love to be in conversation, really. I like talking to people about impactful topics. I have volunteered at Father Support and Family Center. They have a relationship panel. So we talk about the relationships between men and women, co-parenting, all of those kind of things. That is always fun. Like, I hate when I miss, because it's so much fun, because it's like about 20 questions and are all about relationships. And most of the guys are so funny. 9 out of 10 of them ask this question: if you would date someone who had a side chick. They always ask it so they can see what our responses are going to be. And so as soon as they hit it, they say number 9. And I was like, absolutely not. But it's questions like that are really, really fun. And, we get to talk and listen. I learn a lot from these guys. But the other part is I want to empower men too doing that. Men, we need you. We need you. We need you. We need you. Don't think that we don't need you. We need you. So I'm just telling those guys, be a little more careful. Everybody doesn't deserve you. Everybody doesn't deserve your time. Everybody doesn't deserve your intimacy. Everybody doesn't deserve your touch, your kiss, your hug, whatever. Like, you're sacred too. And I think men don't hear that enough. I said it, I would say that to my boys, you're sacred. Everybody doesn't deserve that. I've also volunteered with NAMI. They have 12, 13 different
And
classes that
what is that?
the
What is that?
National Alliance Against Mental Illness.
Okay.
And they have kind of peer support classes. All their classes are around mental health. They have one in the silence, talking about getting out that stigma with mental health and sharing. One is about veterans and the people who care for veterans, and just teaching them about some of the mental impact that people in the military deal with. One is about family support, and just if you're a family member supporting another person with a mental illness. They have one called Faith Net, where you're talking about how your faith and your mental illness work together. In Our Own Voices is just talking about your own mental health journey that you went through. So I've taken all these trainings to be able to teach these classes. And I actually won an award last month for teaching NAMI's Homefront, and that's the one about the veterans and dealing with mental illness.
Congrats!
So that was really nice. Yeah,
I think I did see that. There she posted.
Yeah, so it's just I volunteered there. I do some pro bono. If I meet someone who needs some support, they don't have the ability to pay. We're gonna just do it because I want to make sure that you get the support you need, even if it's short term, until we can connect you to something else. But I love giving back. I love, meeting a need. The need is high.
The need is high. I love that and I can't wait till we continue to talk about all this, because I'm not hugely educated, I'll say, on mental health. And
it changes so much.
It does change. And I think in our society, it's out there more than I think we really realize. But I think society as a whole, like if someone's struggling with mental health, like put them somewhere, get them a drug, get them whatever. Not me, but society says, we don't want to deal with that,
Yeah, I had a friend do that to me.
I'm like, whoa.
When
let's help them. Let's help them. Can we help them?
When my son passed, my friend was like, "You sure you want to take medicine? You sure you want?" I said, "Hey, this is hard, and it's okay that it's hard."
Yes.
And I don't need to, for me, during that time is very important for me to feel all the feelings, I got to go through it one way or another. But I don't know. I feel like women get a little bit more judgment, around, grief and, especially, let's say if you're a Christian, because I've met a lot of people who, are in church. I got a lot of church members I love, but a lot of people that I know that are Christians that go to church, and when something hard like a death of their child happens, a lot of them are not able to stand. And so for me, it's really important to show my son, to show my bonus kids how to do this journey well, Like, God did not leave you. We're in a fallen world. Things happen. We can't control anything, and I was hoping through my loved ones and friends that them seeing me lose my child, that they would pour more love into their children, and you don't see that, but that's what I was hoping, the impact would be more intentional with how we are about our family, how we are about each other, and taking more care and consideration.
I think as a society, it's just like, well, that happened to you. That's not going to happen.
They don't think
that's not going to happen over here. That's not going to happen until something does. I think we kind of just think it's not coming over here. That was just
it's isolated.
Which is not true.
We're in a fallen world. That's the only way I could kind of just like, I don't get to choose.
Well, I love too that you said you do. I'll go back a little bit. The pro bono and stuff like that, and I do as well. I'm not going to say pro bono, but I do very much do some of that because I'm connected to so many nonprofits. So
Oh,
I would say,
good,
yes, I do that.
good.
And then
Yeah.
I also do a lot of like payment plans. Like
Yeah,
if
scaling,
right
you
now
know.
finances are tight with everything
Yes,
else going on.
yes,
And so
yes.
if, okay, well, let's just figure that out
Right,
and
right, right.
let's just start
No, yeah.
working on that. So I love
All
that
the
we're
options.
both
Yeah.
on the same
Sliding scales,
page.
got options. Let's just talk about
Yeah,
it. Get you the support you need.
we're
Um,
all about giving support.
yeah,
That is the most
definitely.
important piece.
The only other thing I would add, when we're talking about finances, we really have to get like really, really real with each other about what's, really important and with our family, because a lot of the things that we spend money on they're not things we need, you know?
Sure.
My son was the happiest when we had no cable. I cooked every day and we lived in the neighborhood with his friends. Like, he was fine,
Yeah.
We would go to the library, rent DVDs. I'm just saying, it's just,
Yeah.
if it's important to you, you'll find a way to do it.
Yeah. And I love that you coach, consult on a piece of that financial piece.
Yeah.
I think I saw that on there. There's a financial.
Yeah, I attended the
piece
Ramsey coaching, so I got a certificate in that. I'm an excellent budgeter. My husband probably doesn't think so.
Well,
but I'm great on a budget.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so I added those pieces
I love
in
that.
to be able to help people with wherever they are. I want to meet the need. You know?
Yeah. I think like I said before, that is something that I think we're very similar, is really about helping people with what they need and guiding them and supporting them in any way that we can.
Right.
And if I'm not the right person and I can't support what their need is, I am definitely going to find who that person is.
Yes, I'm very direct
them.
in that way.
Yeah, yeah. I might not be the right fit, but
right.
I'm going to find the right fit for you, for sure.
Right. It's so true. And that's the thing I would lean on with everybody with the journey to your mental health and getting the support you need. Don't be afraid to go to 5 different people. It's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Find the person, the situation that feels good to you, where you feel like you can open up. You feel like they understand you. You feel like they get you. Because that's where the work is going to happen. The coach or the counselor is not the expert. You're the expert, So we're just here to guide you,
right?
And figuring out what's the best situation,
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We as individuals know the answers for what we need, but asking the right questions and the guidance is so important.
And the patience. That is my life. My life goal. The Lord is like, get the patience.
Yeah. So as we conclude this episode, because we know the two of us could talk.
We can.
Hours. We've experienced that before. But we're going to conclude this episode and share with the audience something about how they get in touch with you. All of those kind of things. Share that here. We'll put it in the show notes, all the things. But what do you want to share here for them?
I am Wayna Berry, and my business is called Berry Career and Life Coaching, and it's Berry Coaching on everything. So LinkedIn, the website, Facebook, Instagram is all Berry Coaching. So send me a message, like one of our posts. Tell me if you want to hear more. Tell me what you don't want to hear. We'd like to hear from you.
Yes, I love that. We're pretty simple. Same thing across all social medias, websites. Makes it easy. Didn't change anything for anything. So that's good. So thank you guys for joining us today. And thank you for sharing so much with me. And of course, the audience. But I got to learn some more about you as the audience learns about you. And super excited about us continuing this journey together.
Fun. So much fun.
It is. And so, tell us what you'd like us to share. Or if you'd like to be a guest, reach out.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you. It's all about love, loss, and female voices. doing all of that.
Yeah.
So anything else
See
you want
you
to add?
soon.
Bye.
Thanks for joining.
Next week, tune in.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Female Voices Life and Loss. We hope today's conversation brought you comfort, insight, and a sense of community. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you found this episode helpful, please share it with others who might need it. Stay connected, stay resilient, and until next time, keep growing and healing.